Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and since I reviewed My Bloody Valentine from 1981 as part of my 69 favorite horror films, I wanted to review the remake that was in 3D that came out last year, 2009. And it's a film that is an entertaining movie. Do I think it's as good as the original? No. But I do think it's a above average remake considering the other films that come out that are remakes. Compared to those, this is a decent one. And the film was directed by Patrick Lussier, which his next film is Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage, which actually sounds like it's going to be a fun movie. And if it's anywhere like this, it'll be a fun movie. And that's what it is. This film is fun, it's entertaining. I know Patrick Lussier has directed a couple films, some of those Dracula movies. I really like White Noise 2 The Light, which some people will laugh at, but White Noise 2 The Light, it doesn't get a lot of notices because of the title and because White Noise 1 was a horrible piece of shit. I hated White Noise with Michael Keaton. It was a very disappointing movie, but the sequel is actually makes sense, more sense than the original. And just don't even think of it as a sequel. It's not. It's name only. If it was just called The Light or something like that, I think it would get better notice. But White Noise 2 The Light, disregard the title, take a look at that movie. Nathan Fillion is very good in that. It has some so-so CGI, but for a direct-to-DVD movie, it's pretty damn good in my opinion. So that's why I was kind of interested in this film. And it is a remake, but at the same time, it doesn't follow the original film dot for dot, like Psycho remake, Hitcher remake, etc. But basically, it's many years ago. It starts out many years ago where a mine has collapsed and has trapped some miners. And in fact, the star Jensen Ackles from the TV show Supernatural, which his budding Supernatural was in another remake in 2009, Friday the 13th. But I thought that Jared Padalecki, I haven't seen the TV show Supernatural, but I like Padalecki a lot more than this guy, Jensen Ackles. He just seems very boring. But apparently he was also one of the miners. He's sort of the son of the guy the boss, so to speak. And he forgot to bleed the lines. He forgot to do that. He made a mistake. He headed out, and that made the mine collapse, but it was an accident. And Harry Warden apparently had killed the other miners who were trapped in order to have more air. But he lies in a coma. And I think it's about a year or so later he comes out of the coma. And you don't see the massacre, but he has this hospital massacre which Tom Atkins, who's pretty much the sheriff, he sort of sees all the carnage, some good practical makeup effects. And it starts off with kind of like a little bit of the original film where you have a bunch of kids partying at the mine. And Harry Warden just goes to town. He hits someone in the back of the head, and it pops out of there. Of course, the pickaxe pops right out of the guy's eyeball, pops his eyeball out. There's a guy on the ground. He swings, gets right in the guy's cheek, grabs a shovel, gets into a girl, and cuts the top part of her head off, and kind of slides a little bit on the shovel. Good effects. I mean, granted, some of it is CGI, but it was entertaining to watch, at least. It was entertaining to watch. And actually the Jensen Ackles is there, and he gets hurt. He's about to get killed, and his friends, one of them is what is that guy's name from Final Destination? Kerr Smith, who plays Axel. And the sort of Jensen Ackles, sort of his girlfriend, but also sort of Axel's girlfriend, they sort of leave him. And you have that nice shot, which is a good shot, that you see in the trailers where he throws the pickaxe and embeds in the car, in the windshield. And Jensen Ackles is about to get killed, but then Tom Atkins and his deputy or someone he's with, the police shoot at the killer, and they sort of chase after him. And it's a while later. I think this is actually when it's a decade later. And he has come back, Jensen Ackles has come back, because I think his father's been killed. It's been a while since I've seen this. I'm sure people will say you should have watched it before this, but fuck it. he comes back to inherit the mine, and now his chickadee is with what used to be his buddy, Axel, Kerr Smith, who's now the new sheriff. And you have sort of this love triangle thing starting to come up, just like in the original. But for some reason, the characters in the original, I didn't love the characters, but they were more interesting than this. I don't know why. Maybe because the acting in this film, it reeks of CW-ness, the drama, and it makes sense considering, Kerr Smith was not one of my favorite actors in Final Destination. He played the asshole guy in that. Jamie Keane, not really a fan of hers. And Jensen Ackles, again, this guy is a very boring actor. And he's on Supernatural, which I think was on the CW. I could be wrong. But that's where the sort of drama, for some reason in the original, I can buy it more. But here it just reached a little bit of CW drama, like the sheriff is also seeing this other girl, and you find out that this other girl gets killed. I think she was pregnant, perhaps. Or that might have been something they cut out, because I remember hearing that on the commentary. Maybe that was something they cut out. No, actually, I think that was in. It was actually in the. That was in the film, I think. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know if it's not there, it's in the deleted scenes where the girl the sheriff was seeing, Kerr Smith was seeing, Axel was seeing, was actually pregnant as well. He's like, don't tell anybody about this. So you get like shady characters, and even Jensen Ackles keeps seeing Harry Warden. Like there's one point where Harry Warden locks him inside this cage while he goes off and do some business. And then basically, what they say is Harry Warden, but Tom Atkins and his buddies saying it can't be because they had killed him and buried him. But of course the body's missing, so did he come out? Did he get out? Of course, if you've seen the original, you think it's Axel, because that's what the character in the original, the killer, was Axel. But obviously then probably not going to go word by word, so they'll probably switch around and probably be the other guy. Is it actually going to be Axel, Kerr Smith, or the Tom character, Jensen Ackles? It's going to be one or the other, otherwise it'd be a letdown. Like Scream 3. Who the fuck's that guy? Oh, he's a killer? Oh, okay. But, and basically people get killed one by one, and it's those three, the girl, Jensen Ackles, Kerr Smith, the sheriff. They're at the mine. She thinks it's one person, then she thinks it's another. There's a fight, there's an explosion, CGI explosion, and then you find out Jensen Ackles is the killer. When he thought he saw Harry Warden, it was just in his head. And somehow he survives this explosion, doesn't really make sense, and then he kills someone in a cool way. I mean, it's from like first person, and you see like the pickaxe go right into the visor. Like, I'm sure that was a pretty cool 3D effect for people in the theater. And then he escapes, and they set up for a sequel, which never happened. I know that was a run-on plot synopsis, but I'm sure most people have already seen the movie. But did I find it entertaining? In a way, yeah. I mean, it was well shot. The pace was decent. It opened with a bang. Starting off with clippings of the mining accident and people getting pwned, and it's good setup. Some really solid kills, especially the little lady. Like, it's a hotel room. You have a girl who's with this guy. The guy's actually the bald guy, like a truck driver type, is actually the writer, Todd Farmer, who also wrote Jason X and helped write this movie. He just picked us right in the head. And you see a full frontal girl, top to bottom, naked, running around. Like, okay, they know what they are. A slasher film. You have your nudity and your violence. This small lady, I guess she owns the hotel or something. And if someone told me that's the same small lady, little person that's in Total Recall, I'm not sure that's correct. But someone told me that. And her death scene, pickaxe, boom, right across the chin, the shin. That's wrong body part. The chin, not the shin. The shin's here. Body part here. The chin. Connected right to the fucking ceiling. Tom Atkins gets boom right in the mouth, and then his sort of jiggers it, and the fucking jaw comes off. Granted, it's CGI, which is kind of why I didn't enjoy it as much as the original, because the original had classic makeup effects, especially the uncut one.